Hey you guys, Jim here. It's 3:02 p.m. in San Francisco on June the 24th. So something I didn't cover earlier in the day with you guys is, I talked to you about the idea that this looks to me like a large degree contracting triangle, and then within the contracting triangle, another contracting triangle in the final leg. What I didn't talk about is this dynamic here that I've talked to you guys about before, which is kind of interesting. So if you just draw this little downtrend line off the high that was posted on the morning of June 18th, and then the morning of the 21st, you can see that AMC tries to break out here, and then this is what I call a bear crawl. I don't know if other people have other terms for it, but anyway, it's where price breaks out, but then instead of just coming back on a kiss back and then resuming the trend, you get this skipping, crawling down the downtrend line. So bear crawl. If we were skipping and crawling up it, I call it a bull crawl. So anyway, these are actually really bullish when they resolve to the upside. Um, for I don't really know the reason, like the psychology behind it necessarily, but everything I'm looking at says the same thing, paints the same picture, which is just this really wound up, coiled movement. And a lot of times, what will happen is you drill down to these smaller degree fractals, you'll even see like even the very final 25 ticks or down to the 15-second bar, 30-second bar. You'll even see it repeated again and just an even tighter coil, and then we explode. If that's what's going on here, we'll know easily because if you're in a contracting triangle, you thrust out of it. I mean, you thrust out of it really powerfully. So, we wouldn't be continuing to just pin sideways for another, week. That's just not the way this would work if it's a contracting triangle of some sort. So anyway, that's that. We've got, I'm going to leave this 65-60 retest up here on the 28th. This is an entire window of zone of strength. It's becoming a larger and larger window. If we look at the 1 minute, if we look at the 1 minute, we basically didn't even move down to the 55-55. We did sag. See, from right here, we did sag into this zone of weakness, but I mean, barely any price movement. So my sense is that this is really bullish. I mean, the way I interpret this personally is bullish. So um, we'll hopefully be able to move these completely off the board. Matter of fact, I'm going to move them off the board right now because I don't see anything in the overnight model that looks remotely bearish. If anything, it looks slightly bullish in the after hours and pre-market. So we'll just get rid of those guys for the time being. Matter of fact, let's do this. This would probably make, this is a different version of the software. So bear with me for just a second here. I'm going to get rid of this for you guys. Let's go with 50. How about that? Let's just get rid of those lower retest levels. We'll deal with those down the road. So anyway, here we are. Really like the way this ended today, and we'll do this just for the heck of it. Okay, in case we have any weakness in the morning. I don't see any weakness predicted in the BAM model. And so the first thing we really have is a couple hours into the trading session, a nice looking zone of strength here. So we'll stick with this. If I were given just one guess right now and I had to walk away for the market for 2 days, I would guess that we'll be able to revisit this 58.60 and 59.50 vibration level at some point tomorrow, if not into this zone of strength somewhere later in the day. So anyway, here's what we've got. We've got these two zones of strength. Assuming that we break out above this red downtrend, and also that the Anemoi tool that I'll show you in a minute breaks out of the potential bullish three trigger cluster to the upside, then that sets us up really nicely into Monday. If we were to put in a ragged looking late session tomorrow, and keeping in mind, options expiration is always tough, especially on my work, because the human emotion tends to be stripped right out of the market. It's a highly mechanical type of session, especially the first 2 hours of trading. But assuming we survive the first 2 hours and track nicely, and have a decent day toward the close tomorrow, that sets us up for, actually for this retest level to be in play on Monday. If we get slammed tomorrow for some reason down into here, then we still are looking good, because we still are looking for an uptrend, and we'll move these targets over to the right-hand side. It's still a heck of a lot better than $5 or $9 and where we came from. So I think everybody needs to keep that in mind as well, that, to be thankful for this great price action we've had so far, and that you guys have pulled this off. I mean, because you guys have, you truly have pulled this off. If this is a big triangle pattern, then it means that the people who added to short positions or established short positions are about to be wrong, and they'll have to cover. So the one thing I did want to mention, I think when I hear people talk about this battle between the short sellers of AMC and the apes, they tend to talk mainly about one large firm, and whether or not that firm is adding or reducing their short position. You guys have to remember, there's a lot of people that are just simply, traders and scalpers. And if they can get their hands on the borrow, and it's, decently, it's not astronomically priced as far as the carry cost. You have new people establishing shorts, probably on a daily basis. They think it's a scalp trade, and if they don't see an immediate move to the downside, they're out. They have to cover their shorts. So anyway, I wouldn't think in terms of this being just this battle between one large firm and you guys. I think it's more a lot of new people probably stepping in, trying to short AMC just because it's, up 700-800% off that May low. And so there's a lot of potential firepower in shorts being covered, meaning they have to go buy the stock, right? Because they sell it to establish the short. You buy it to flatten out that position. So there's a lot of firepower in here into our zone of strength, even without the large firm creating, this massive stampede, type squeeze that you guys are really looking for at some point in the future to carry, to these really, really high price levels that people are talking about. So anyway, even from an incremental approach, to me, it looks really promising. I had some questions today about Bitcoin. So that 31,000 level, if you read what I wrote, I said that we could see that on the 24th. Well, 24th is not over yet. It's 3:11 p.m. my time, so we have a little bit of time to go here. Obviously, this 34,200 vibration level is pretty sticky so far. And so the other thing I mentioned is, if we were not revisiting 31,000 into the 24th, that next most likely, most vulnerable date would be sort of 629-ish. So if Bitcoin is going to see a nice rally, I would think that it could hold toward this 31,000 retest and then flop and vibrate around this date. Because remember, the 1st through about the 7th, I think, the Bitcoin model is actually bullish. So if there's not a fast market decline sort of around that date, then Bitcoin is most likely survived for another 2-3 weeks. And I probably will go ahead and try a long side trade at that point. So if we make contact with 31,000 and vibrate, I'll probably look for a long trade out the other side. If we come down and make marginal new lows and reverse into sort of the 1st through the 7th, I'll probably try a long side scalp. If we cascade all the way down to my 18,100 level, retest level, I absolutely will be, in with a full position at that point. So anyway, those are the scenarios. We'll see if this 31,000 comes into play later on tonight, pre-market tomorrow, or if we're more likely going to be waiting until the 29th. But it's a total hands-off trade for me for the time being. There's just simply too much downside momentum, and those downside retest levels are 18,100. That's I wouldn't play around with that. And I don't choose to stay awake all night long to babysit this thing. So for me, it's just not worth it. Anyway, that's it, you guys. I will talk to you in the morning.